Hello and welcome to TMT Talks with me, Oisín Lunny, coming to you from Mobile World Congress 2021 here in beautiful Barcelona. Mobile World Congress is the world's premier event for all things digital, mobile and tech. And of course, last year it was cancelled due to the COVID-19 pandemic. But this year we're back in Barcelona, we're back in business and we are back together. This year, the movers and shakers of the global tech and mobile scene have been gathered to explore some of the latest innovations in the mobile space and to look at the increasingly important role that mobiles play in our lives and to look about what they're going to bring to us in the future. After a difficult year, it is so great to be back. Welcome to Mobile World Congress 2021 with TMT Talks. And I'm delighted to be joined here at MWC 2021 by Nicole Gouws, a designer of all things mobile and tech extraordinaire. Welcome to TMT Talks, Nicole. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So you're the creative director at Abbey Global Health, a fantastic company I'm very familiar with. And you're an expert on creating absolutely superb mobile and digital experiences. Now, over this past year with the pandemic, with the lockdown, obviously there's been a massive rise in telehealth services and demand. How has it changed how people are using their digital devices? What have you seen from your viewpoint as a designer, as a creative director?
Yeah, so I would just say accessibility in terms of, like being available in different platforms. So because not everybody uses the same channel, so how can we integrate in chat apps, for example, like WhatsApp or Messenger? How can we integrate on people's websites, in their apps, and how do you design an experience that is so diverse but yet still so consistent in all of those, all of those channels? So yeah, I mean, it's trying to kind of keep things as basic as possible, which is not always the easiest thing, and really just kind of getting rid of all of the excess and just keeping the bare minimum bones and making sure that that works, and then I feel like the rest always kind of falls into place.
Now, I happened to see your CEO, Kim Frederick Schneider, give a great presentation here at 4 Years From Now a couple of years ago, and he kind of asked the audience how many people had downloaded various apps, and then he said, but how many of you have WhatsApp? And all the hands went up. How many of you use SMS? Everybody's hand went up. And so I think the interesting thing about what you do at Abbey Global Health is you facilitate this access to 24/7 qualified healthcare, but using the messaging apps that people love to use the most. And SMS and mobile messaging is obviously at the core of a lot of companies here at MWC. So aside from this move to asynchronous messaging that's hugely popular, what do you think are some of the changes that you've observed in how people are now using online, mobile and digital services throughout the pandemic? And are there any other kind of changes that you've observed in people's behavior?
Yeah, I think changes. What's been really interesting at Abbey is we've been able to see when the pandemic actually is going to hit before it hits. So there was a lot of increase in flu-related questions, even like 2 weeks before the big quarantine at the beginning. So this is kind of all data metrics that is really powerful and can actually be used for the good. So I would say that was a big change. And then also giving people that peace of mind. During this time, people were very anxious, they were stressed out, and then just having the ability and the comfort of knowing that you can easily ask a question to a doctor and get a response really made people feel at ease, which is, during this time, not only did you need to take so much care of your health, but also your mental health. And for me, that's an interesting thing about Abbey, is that it wasn't necessarily intended for that, but it somehow was really beneficial for people in terms of putting them at ease in this time.
That's so important, absolutely. Yeah, mental health has been a huge issue. People have been isolated, they've been afraid of all kinds of, and there's plenty of misinformation, some from very surprising sources. And so like the fact that they have a hotline anytime, 24/7 to a qualified doctor has been a huge comfort. That's a very good point. But you spoke about there that the data has been very informative and that you were actually able to see the pandemics landing in different countries weeks before it happened as these common questions came up. So one question that comes to mind there is, with all that user data, how do you approach privacy? Is there anything that, do you have a specific stance on the privacy of users' data, and how do you manage that from a UX design point of view?
Yeah, so we're very much privacy by design driven.
Right.
So we only ask the bare minimum that we need to kind of provide you the service. So in most cases it would be your gender and your age, because that's what the doctor would need in order to give you an informed answer. And then in terms of kind of using the channel that you choose, maybe we would need your mobile number if you're using it on WhatsApp.
Yes.
Or if you're going to use it on a desktop, maybe we would need nothing. There's in some cases that we don't even need anything. So it depends on kind of where you're using it, but very much deciding what is the bare minimum of information that we need.
So we've just heard about our great shift onto mobile platforms, and more people are using mobile and digital platforms to access services. Do you think this is going to be a long-term trend in healthcare, or do you think it's ever going to kind of go back to how it was with long queues in the waiting rooms and people not using telehealth? Or do you think this is one-way traffic?
If you look at Generation Z, for example, they're all about, everything needs to be done on mobile. They don't like going to the doctors. They don't like sitting there. They're asking private, embarrassing questions. So I do think the future of healthcare is going to be very much rooted in telemedicine.
I think Abbey Global Health is a great example of what Professor Scott Galloway from NYU calls a time machine. It gives people time back into their lives. It stops you that trip to the doctor, that queue, the taking the ticket, giving your details again and again. You're directly connected. So I think this is part of the magic of what mobile phones can do, and it's great to be chatting here at Mobile World Congress about it. But just to come away from MWC and all things mobile, the past year has been a strange one. Since the pandemic landed here, that obviously you were able to see a couple of weeks ahead of time at Abbey. What have you been up to in the past year? What's it been like for you? Have you done anything different? Have you discovered any new things? Have you taken up any new hobbies? What's it been like for you?
Yeah, I think I'm fortunate in the sense where I fall on the line of people where business has actually just boomed during this stage, being in healthcare and being in telemedicine. So we've really kind of tried to work on our product a bit more and kind of expanded. We've designed a widget that can be embedded on any website, on any platform. Again, like trying to give people access where they need it and where they are.
Fantastic.
So that was kind of like a big project that we've been working on. And from a personal side, just really focusing on mental health, self-reflection, and making sure that I'm taking care of that. It is important, especially during these times. It's stressful. It's a different kind of stress from, back in the day of hustling through life. And but yeah, it's really important to keep like all of those buckets full and balanced.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, words to live by. Thank you so much for joining us at TMT Talks at Mobile World Congress here in Barcelona. Nicole Gouws from Abbey Global Health. Thank you.
Thanks, Oisin.
And so that's it for TMT Talks with me, Oisin Lunny, coming to you from Mobile World Congress 21 here in beautiful Barcelona. Thank you so much for watching or listening from wherever you are, and also thank you for reaching out with some brilliant comments and questions for myself and the team at TMT Talks all about our episodes. If you want to reach out and share your thoughts on what we're doing at TMT Talks, just use the hashtag TMT Talks or drop me an email at oisin@tmtanalysis.com. I'm looking forward to seeing you next time, but in the meantime, look after yourselves. Thank you from all of us at TMT Analysis, from our production team right here in Barcelona, and from everybody at MWC 2021. We will see you next time.